Yo, what's up guys? Since I've been seeing everyone making these kind of plan, what are you going to do for the start of Etheria restart starting on the 5th of June? Posting of this video will be on the 4th of June, so the day before, so maybe people can follow what I'm doing. I will definitely be giving out a bunch of tips as well, which did really help me in the previous beta, but also things that I did do wrong in the previous beta, and just things that I've seen throughout. So first of all, I will be one of those players that is going to be going for rerolling. And the thing is, currently there are no guest accounts. So with no guest accounts, maybe you're familiar with other rerolling in other games. No guest accounts makes it a little bit annoying where you have to have specific email addresses connected to that. So I actually made 12 emails and I all gave them the pre-registration. I will play all 12 of those and I will choose the account with best units after, I would say, probably 80-ish pools. It kind of depends like how much you get, if there's maybe some extra coupons or something like that. So that is going to be my game plan. So then the thing is, which units am I focusing for? What am I aiming for? What should I be getting? So the thing that I do want to get most, either a Lily or I do want to get a Heinrich. Those are the two that I'm mainly focusing for. It would be really nice if we can also get a Mio, or like we get one of the three. Nope, not you, Mio. But I'm not 100% sure yet. I do think she's already in the banner, but I did hear a few like things that maybe she is, maybe she isn't. I'm not 100% sure about that. So those two is definitely the accounts that I will be aiming for. Then also, of course, there's one unit that I still think is very important, even though his nerf, which is right over there, that Marvel. I think that these are the three units that I'm mainly focusing for. Like, if I get those three, I'm golden. I don't really care what any other SRs I get. If I get the Lily, Heinrich, and Marvel on one account, I'm settled. I'm good, because then I can do the selection banner. Let's actually put that as well. Selection banner. It's one of those things that I can definitely focus on, like pretty much anything that I can get at that point, and you're just doing really good. If I have the choice of like, okay, let's say I have an account with a Heinrich and a Marvel, or a Lily plus a Marvel, then it's kind of doubted, like, okay, what will I do? Of course, if I get a account with a Heinrich and a Lily, but without the Marvel, I will be playing that, because those are the two harder to get, of course. But yeah, that's kind of the thing that I'm going for. 12 emails, 80 pulls per, like, I think that's about 80 pulls. That's what I've seen other people do with rerolling. So about 80 pulls, I think, is average. To get an SSR is about 1 in 80. And to get an Apex SSR with the current one is going to be like a, I think it was a 0.25 or something. So with the amount of scrolls that we get, I think I will be able to get at least one of those two for sure. Well, not for sure. It's still rolling. You never get it for sure. But that is the main thing. And hopefully I'll get one with two. So should I have maybe made more emails? Well, then again, I also don't want to be re-rolling all day, because that's kind of the next thing. You still want to be doing on your first day. Still make sure to use all energy or stability or whatever it was called. I don't even remember. Make sure to use all of that. Even if you're like super close to the day reset, just claim all of that and then use that the next day. But make sure you use all of that, because that is definitely something that I will be focusing on early on. Leveling as fast as possible. Well, that's one of the tips. Leveling as fast as possible to clear all content. And then you can start farming at a later moment as well. So that's definitely always important, that at least if you want to progress fast, I do want to progress fast. That is for me important, where I do level as fast as possible. How do you level as fast as possible? You do all refreshes every day. And then we're talking about you do all refreshes, you do all stability refreshes every day. That's definitely a thing that you want to do. Maybe for people that are more free to play-ish, maybe do level 35, or do level 40 or 45. But for me, I will definitely do that until I'm 50. I'm pretty sure I will do that at least. Yeah, I think I will do that until 50. That is probably my game plan over there. So that is going to be the thing that I will be doing with the rerolling. If I don't get anything good on those 12 emails, I will make more. That is like, if nothing good, make more. That's just simple as it is. I kind of want to keep about, let's say the reset or the start of the day is 10 a.m. If I were to do refresh or rerolls until, like, let's say this, I still have more than enough time to get the first day properly in. I think, honestly, I could even do, like, rerolls until this, so I could do a good 8 hours of rerolling, and then I still can get most of the things in. Because in Europe, it was resetting at, like, 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., so would be a long day. I will definitely be streaming all of this. I will stream all of these. So find me on twitch.tv/SeiiMore. So yeah, that's going to be the thing for that. So rerolling is mainly for these characters. Do I really care about SRs? Like, sure, if I get this plus a bunch of better SRs versus this versus a bunch of weaker SRs, I will make the trade-off in there. But then we're talking about what units will I focus on early game. Game. So let's just go for that. First and foremost, of course, I will be focusing on Leon, but Leon I am going to be focusing until the achievements are done. After that, I will probably reset her. And with the reset, I'm going to be making her into level 35 5-star again. That is probably game plan. I still want to have the ability to use her, but I don't want to have her 6-star. I don't think she has really that much value for 6-star. If in Inferno, I need of the Terra Matan Inferno, I need her, then I'll make her a 6-star again. That's kind of like if I were to need there, but that is going to be my game plan for Leon. I definitely do want to get a Marvel. That's absolutely one of those that's for me just a must. He's so incredibly good in so many stages. Termaton, Doki Doki, Aurora, any kind of like any sync, whatever. He was just so crazy good. So I definitely do want to get a Marvel. That's pretty much a must for me. Units that I, of course, also be focusing on is going to be that Grape. He's one of the best free-to-play units out there that's just incredibly good. Besides that, it is one of those that are hard to miss out on is the Sanya. She's just also incredibly good. You definitely do want to have her in there. It's just one of those units that I think every account should have. It's kind of like on the point that I would say the achievements should give her because she's just that good and that hard to miss out on. But she will definitely be pulled at some point. I will go for a Kraken. That's just for the Doki Doki. You could go for the other one, which is called, I forgot her name. This one over here, I think it was Kazuya. So she might be one of those that kind of depends who I pull for first and I want to put resources into. But in most cases, if we're talking about like elemental-wise, there's already, you do see a few overlap of the green elemental. So they all share their green elemental resources. So therefore, Kraken might be easier because I'm not having any blue resources at the moment that I'm using. Of course, you do at some point start focusing on a Ling Lo. That will definitely be added into the team. Tiamat, however, I'm not too sure about. And then we're also right away talking about the selection banner because these are just the free-to-play units that I'm talking about. One that I definitely do still want to add in there is a Siaki the Echo. And I do want to actually also add in a Victor or a The Thing. I will definitely build one of the two, but that is also depending. These three are more depending what do I get in the selection banner or what do I get from any of the random pulls. Because these are units that you can also replace by something else. Let's say you pull a Messiah. Then a Messiah can be the damage dealer for these two units for a big portion of the early game. Messiah can also be the damage dealer for this for a big portion of the early game. So it's definitely one of those units where you could simply say it's like, okay, that will be interesting where you can kind of start replacing things. So I think for the free-to-play-ish units, we're more looking at the pile that we have over here. But then again, it also does depend. Also, one more unit that might be on the list of to focus on is going to be that Viper. And Viper depends. If I did pull a Heinrich, I'm probably not going that hard on Viper. If I don't have a Heinrich, I will definitely 100% go for a Viper. It also depends, like if I have a Lily, I will be more leaning towards a Victor. If I don't have a Lily, I would be more leaning toward the Thing because the Thing wasn't nerfed, whereas the Victor was slightly nerfed. But then we're talking about the selection banner. What are, in my opinion, good options for the selection banner? Well, then again, anyone can just simply go for the selection banner for something they like. But for me, it's like, okay, what did I feel really strong? So a lot of people are talking about Tiamat still, Ramocha, or a Rosa. I think that those are probably the top three of what people would be going for. I've seen some people here and there say that they would like to go for a Born, or maybe even go for like a debuff such as a Close or anything like that. But I think for the top 3 is probably those 3 that people would go for. Romocha is just super hard on Doki Doki, but besides that, I felt her value was not super crazy. So just a strong PvE unit, but only in Doki Doki. Whereas I think that Rosa has more value also towards Union Boss and those kind of things. I'm not sure what would be having more value in the guild union battles kind of things. So for me, I would probably go for Rosa, but this is really one of those things I'm going to be waiting with the banner. And is that going to be a week? Is that going to be 2 weeks? I am not sure yet. That is for me the main thing, that I'm not 100% sure how long I will wait with this. I will start doing this banner the moment that I feel like, okay, I have a unit that could be very strong paired with another unit. And if I feel that super strong pair sitting somewhere and I'm just missing that one key piece, then this is going to be my key piece selector. That is how I'm going to be using the selection banner, as a key piece selector, because in the end, you're not creating individual units, you're creating teams. And if you create a proper team, it's so much better than having one individual good unit. Plus, most of the free-to-play characters are weaker versions of that good character. So that is pretty much what I will do with the selection banner. I will be waiting with the selection banner. Then, of course, at the end, the tips. What are going to be my tips to do? Well, I would say for one of the tips is also wait with the selection banner. As mentioned before, I think it's one of those tips that's good. Also, one tip that you definitely can get recommended is join a union. If you have no clue what you need to join, maybe you can already, when you see this video, in my Discord, there's an option to search for a union. There's the official Discord, that's an option. There's a whole bunch of other streamers also making content. You can definitely find a lot of communities out there already. Maybe there's a Reddit. I'm not even sure if there's Reddit for Etheria Restart, but there's a lot of communities out there where you can maybe find a union to join. Because with union joining, you get a stability on check-in. And it's as simple as don't miss out on free resource. Also already mentioned, do your stability for that. Sometimes I write things wrong. I don't care. Deal with it. Also, of course, if you're really new to the game, what should you be doing mainly in the game is follow the hyperlink charter. It's just as simple as that. Don't waste stability on anything else than the charter. That is definitely one of those things that you really have to focus on. Hyperlink charter is the main thing that you want to focus on. If it says you do 10 of this or do 10 of that, just do 10. Don't do more. Because you're going to be needing your stability for other things later, or your stamina. I really don't remember what it was. I think it was stability, but maybe something else was called stability. Either, doesn't matter. So definitely don't go out of your way. What if there is nothing to do and you just have to level up? Because certain things are just gate-kept by, like, okay, you have to level up and therefore have to do something else. Actually, in the beta, a lot of people were saying it's like farm Animus EXP. It's definitely not a bad one. It's the investigation. You can do that on the highest level. But you're kind of gonna get this at a certain point anyway. So maybe the better option, is farm shells. And if you farm shells, you get training data. Training data is the stuff that actually upgrades your shells. Plus, a very good tip, insane tip, stats come from shells more than modules. This is very important, and that's something that I actually did not notice at all during my first longer playthrough. I was focusing on I should maybe upgrade a module to 12 or 9 or to 15 or whatever. Don't go too hard on those. You need a lot of that resource as well for the Etheria coin. But a lot of the stats, your base speed improvement, comes from shells. Definitely focus on the shells more because it gives base stats such as speed. And that's just upgrading your shell. You don't have to reroll the perfect stat and that kind of stuff on it. But upgrading your shell to a high level is definitely interesting. I would say wait until fully upgrading them until you actually get proper good shells, which is mostly around level 30. Then you get a few shells such as... Damn, I forgot the name. I think it was the Beetle Knight and the other one was the Black Flag. Those are two that you definitely want to be max those out. those are the shells that are absolutely really good and you're going to be using for a very long stay. But besides that, maybe you don't want to really max out on things. But if you're focusing on something, it's probably better to farm shells than to farm this. So maybe actually don't do this. Like that's kind of a thing. Like in the end, you're going to be needing a lot of Animus EXP, and Animus are the characters, and you're gonna be needing a decent amount of EXP for that anyways. But the thing is, if you're doing any stages, you're still getting EXP regardless. Which also goes into the next tip. Don't max level unit you're using. And why is that? Well, the moment you get to max level is 50, you're not gonna get no more EXP. The thing is, in this game, some of those games is like, okay, if max level, spread rest of EXP. So you get like one is max level. Normally you would get like 1k spread out. Everyone gets 250, but one is already max level, so everyone gets like 333. Not in this case. In this case, one gets nothing, the other get 250 and rip your 250. Simple as that, so you lose out on 250. So for that reason, if you're, let's say you're using your Leon, make her, let's say, level 48 or something. If you're using like the books to level her up, because you have like certain items to level up, don't make her full on max level. Also, if you have like a 5-star, just make her level, what's it called, like 43 or something, because then you can slowly level her up because you keep using her. And that actually maximizes your usage of resources rather than it's like, oh, my whole team is level 50 max. I'm kind of grinding this stage. And yeah, I'm just wasting all of the EXP. So that is definitely a combination thing. If you would really want to min-max stuff, don't max your levels. So I would say max level -2/3 at max. If you use like the if using resources. Something like that. That's just a pretty good tip that I think is for min-maxing. It's pretty nice. And then the final tip for early game is watch guides. That's just the same thing. You're already doing this, so you're already doing this tip, so I can actually remove this, but keep doing that. You're doing great. And yeah, just take it at a day's time. Don't expect to be like the craziest next level best player right away. Definitely play at your own pace. I think that's a really good one as well. Play at your own pace. It's a game. Enjoy it. Simple as that. I think like definitely you will be seeing me and probably other bunch of streamers or people that already played the beta like skyrocketing, going super fast and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I would definitely recommend to do your refresh of your stability. But it's definitely one of those things like if you just put everything into summoning, sure, that is nice, but it's not gonna get you that far for leveling up and you're gonna be lacking behind at the first bit. If you're totally fine with that, hey, by all means, summon everything, summon all of the crystals. But for me, I'm actually not going to be putting that many crystals. Putting almost no crystals in summons. That is the thing for me that I'm going to be doing at first. Because I do come from Summoners Wars. Maybe a lot of you guys know. In Summoners Wars, actually, we always say never use your crystal or your crystal resources for summoning, because you use all of those for refreshing, but you can refresh unlimited amount in that game. So it's definitely different than this game. But I think I want to keep kind of the similar strategy and then just see how far that gets me. If I feel like I'm really lacking units, then I might throw in a few of those. But definitely at the early stage, you get a lot of crystals. You feel like, oh, all-time high, get all of the crystals, so many achievements. But at some point, the achievements run out. So achievements will run out. Therefore, no more crystal income. Well, no more is maybe a little bit hard set. I think there will be crystal income from a bunch of places like Arena and RTA, that kind of stuff. So definitely one of those things to keep in mind. Ooh, actually one big tip that I actually did not do last time around, and that is do play RTA. Because RTA gives you resources for an insane shop. And that is maybe a thing, like for me personally, I like to really create my team at first, and then when I have a solid team, that's when I want to start getting into RTA. But in this game, there is a 2000 material. I have no clue what it was called anymore. And you get about like 100 per win. I'm not sure how much you get per lose, if you even get anything per lose, but it's like 20 wins that you have to do per week. And then you have all of the resources afterwards. You can just dip out on RTA. But this game is definitely saying like, okay, if you RTA, you get more rewarded for that. And this shop is really good because you can buy a lot of resource for upgrading your stuff. You can buy things for skill ups. You can buy things for just simply like extra shell, upgrades, extra upgrades to get your modules further up and that kind of stuff, which is like the resource to up your modules. Same for the shells. So you do get a lot of that. So I definitely recommend in the first week already, do play RTA. If you don't enjoy it or you're just losing too much, just go. Let's just, okay, we removed that you play at your own pace and just to get some extra space in here. So you go in, quit battle, and repeat until no elo, and then easy wins. Also, if a lot of people do this, you will get victories because other people quit out on you. And at some point, if you really drop down your elo by a lot, you will get to the point where a lot of people are doing this, because that's how you get to that low elo. It's kind of win trading, but in the end, it is a way, like, sure, you're not going to get your rewards for, like, hey, you get your rewards for being in high rank and that kind of stuff. Sure, you're not going to get those. But at least you get your rewards for just at least those 2,000 material kind of things. And those are really recommended to get. So I think that this is pretty much it that is going to be talking everything about, like, what my plan is for that. I do have some other beginner videos, but those were more focused on the beta itself. I will be making daily videos the moment of the release of Etheria restart itself. I will be streaming all the time. Links of that is in the description down below. You already found the channel. All you gotta do is just subscribe and like this video. And see you as always in the next one. Also, if there's any questions, let me know in here in the comments, or ask me on my Discord. It's not that active there just yet, but that will definitely happen the moment that the game is released. And actually, there's a lot of people that have been asking me, it's like, yo, I actually do want to give that game a try, and let's just see how it is. Also, another tip for beginners for early game. I already do know I will be playing this game for a decent amount of time, but I would say to people that have never touched it before is, do not spend until you know that you want to play for a longer time. There's like a $5 what's it called, like pack, which is definitely worth it if you do want to like just promote, or not necessarily promote, if you just want to give something back to the developers. I think the 5-pack is definitely one of those things, like, okay, that's a nice just give back. It's $5 a month, so it's nothing too crazy or anything. But if you're not sure about should I spend, should you not spend, don't. That's the simplest answer. Don't until you actually do enjoy the game, and then you say, it's like, okay, maybe I spend a little bit over here, a little bit over there. But in the end, never spend money you cannot miss. That's the main thing. It's a luxury product. You don't have to buy this. You have to buy food. You have to live. You have to pay rent. That kind of stuff you have to. This you don't have to do. And just take it for fun. Let's just see how far everyone gets. And I'm definitely excited. Hope you're excited as well. And as mentioned, see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.